The problem is, everybody, when they say that, they're thinking evolution is part of science. Evolution is a religion. Has nothing to do with science. Now, it's thoroughly mixed in the science books, but that doesn't make it part of science. You know, beer is often sold at football games. Beer has nothing to do with football, okay? And evolution is mixed in with our science books, and it shouldn't be. Evolution's a religious belief.
For a lot of people within the faith, though, they'll say, okay, science is 100% bad. But obviously, when you use science to glorify God and you look at the facts, it does point to glorify God even more. So I want to ask your thoughts on this debate, because obviously you look at it, and there are some believers out there that say, okay, we have to completely avoid science. When you hear someone say that, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, science is wonderful. I taught science 15 years. The problem is, everybody, when they say that, they're thinking evolution is part of science. Evolution is a religion. Has nothing to do with science. Now, it's thoroughly mixed in the science books, but that doesn't make it part of science. You know, beer is often sold at football games. Beer has nothing to do with football, okay? And evolution is mixed in with our science books, and it shouldn't be. Evolution's a religious belief. You have to believe in all the parts of evolution. Nobody's ever seen life come from non-living material. Nobody's ever seen a dot of nothing exploding and making a universe. Right. Nobody's ever seen an animal produce a baby other than their same kind, like the Bible said would happen. So evolution is the religion. I love science. I'm not against science. I've had 389 debates. I'll take on anybody you can find. Take on 10 at a time. If I get half the time, no interrupting, and one topic at a time. There is absolutely zero evidence for this stupid religion of evolution. So science is what we know. Look up the definition of science. Science means knowledge. Knowledge gained by observation, experimentation, and testing. That's typical definition of science in any book, okay? Right. The word science comes from the Latin word scientia, which means knowledge. What do we know? We know cows produce cows. We see it. We do not know that cows and pine trees are related. That's not science. So if you define what is science, knowledge gained from using observations and experiments. Nobody's had an observation of evolution. Nobody's had an experiment to demonstrate it. It's not science. And then when I do my debates, I define the word science. I also define the word evolution. What do you mean by that word evolution? Because the word evolution is slippery. It has 6 different meanings. They want to teach the kids this Big Bang theory. We all came from a dot of nothing. This is called cosmic evolution. Just like biology is the heart of biological evolution is the heart of modern biology, cosmic evolution is the heart of cosmology. They have to have this. The Big Bang would have to produce the universe, the father of the Big Bang. So I go through plenty of slides on this. Here's the typical stuff they teach. Time, space, and matter all began with the Big Bang, this is a propaganda statement. This is not a scientific statement. In a fraction of a second, the universe grew from smaller than a single atom to bigger than a galaxy. This is called stupid. Now, they can believe it if they want, but it's not science. This is a propaganda statement. This is their religion. Secondly, you'd have to have what's called chemical evolution, because if the Big Bang produced hydrogen, well, how do you get all the other elements? The third theory of life's origin is chemical evolution. Yeah, I see, okay. Chemical evolution. Hydrogen and helium were created in the Big Bang. The heavy elements came later, really. Hydrogen and helium atoms emerged 379,000 years after the Big Bang. They just make up these numbers and throw them out, and people swallow them. This is pure propaganda. Tell them I said so. Michigan State Indoctrination Center, okay? There was hydrogen and oxygen, hydrogen and oxygen. All these molecules got to get together and make gold, silver, platinum, all the 92 elements made from hydrogen gas. This is stupid. It can't fuse past iron. And so that's the second step of evolution, is making all the elements. And there is no scientific evidence of this happening. They can believe it if they want, but it's not science, that's all. So then, which came first, the stars or the elements to make the stars? They claim fusion in the stars can create these heavy elements, which we've never seen. But how did the stars get here? Then you have to have stars, the evolution of stars. It's called stellar evolution. I got plenty of stuff on that. Stellar, and nobody's ever seen a planet form. We've never seen a star form. If a Big Bang took place, all the fragments are flying out away from each other like hand grenade fragments exploding. The longer you wait, the further apart they get, like spokes on a wheel. They're not going to get back together out there and form a planet. They can dream all they want, but that's just simply not science. The biggest problem they have is probably organic evolution, life starting from non-living material. Nobody sees that happening. It's imagination is all it is. Then you have what's called macroevolution. This is where an animal changes from one kind into another. None of these are observable. Then you have what's called microevolution. Oh, let's see, micro mechanisms of evolution. I go through this on what debates. I tear them up sweetly in Christian love. Natural selection. There we go. Bible says they're going to bring forth after their kind, after their kind, after his kind, after his kind. It's in there 20 times in the first 7 chapters. Today there are 450 recognized breeds of cows. They might have had a common ancestor called a cow. That's not proof they're related to pine trees. And they went into, we could take all day just on that one, but let me just go to the last one here. Microevolution is a lousy phrase. I don't think they should use that, but they do, so we're kind of stuck with it. That's variations within the kind. That one is observable. We see 450 kinds of cows, and we say, wow, they had a common ancestor. Okay, that's microevolution. They're still a cow. But they want to take that evidence and say, see, that proves everything. No, you better divide evolution up into these 6 stages. The first 5 are religious, and they're flat stupid. They're certainly not science. Number 6 is scientific. But because they use that word microevolution, people think, oh, wow, it's part of evolution, it's part of science. Yeah, microevolution, just call it variations instead. Then it doesn't give any credence to the dumb theory of evolution.
If this conversation blessed you today, please hit the like button and subscribe. It genuinely helps YouTube push this message to more people who need to hear it. If you're listening on audio, a 5-star review is a huge help. Share this episode with a friend or family member who needs encouragement and let me know your thoughts in the comments. God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.